Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Setup's going to be really simple. It's going to take their tracker with their color and put it on 0. This will track your adventure points, and this will track the gems that you're able to obtain during the game. Everybody will start here on bag N. You shuffle up the Gandalf cards, shuffle up the adventure cards. You put Smaug here in the middle with a jewel in each spot, and you're going to put 4 here in the Lonely Caves. Then you are ready to go. On your turn, it's very easy. You're going to roll the dice. Now I rolled a 6 and a 1. I can move 6 spaces, I can move 1 spaces, or I can move 7. So you can choose any of the dice. You just want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whatever spot you land on, you do the action of that spot. So let's talk about some of the different actions on the board. If you land on a Gandalf spot, like I just did, you grab a Gandalf card. So this says a bow and arrow, good in adventures requiring hunting or for keeping enemies at distance. Now you will need one with this symbol right here, if you can see it. This is the Smaug symbol that you will need in order to fight Smaug. So if you don't have one of these Gandalf cards with this symbol, then you cannot fight him. So you need to kind of get these before you do. These will do different things. So friend, good in adventures involving elves and knowledge about traveling safe spaces. You got weapons, spells, etc. But yeah, you're looking for that symbol is really what you want to do. Torch, great in adventure when you need to light up dark spaces. And these will help you when you're going on adventures also. So let's say I had this one, the bow and arrow. I would get that for going to the Gandalf space. Now, if you go on one of these with a hand, with the gem on it, let's zoom in on that so you can see it. One of these with a hand, then you can steal. If you land there, and there's still a jewel on the Lonely Mountain, you can steal one of these jewels that are there. Then you would roll the 20-sided die, and you would need to roll a number equal to or lower the number of jewels plus your adventure points that you have. Then you'd be able to steal one of the jewels from there. If you fail, then you would take one of the treasures you've already earned, and you would throw it back in there. So you're kind of gambling as you go through that. If you land here on a space that has a jewel, you'll add one of these to your supply, not from the mountain, but you take it from the supply and add it to your scoring on your personal tracking sheet. Now, if you're able to land here on one of these Gandalf, but with a jewel on it, you can give up a Gandalf card that you have. Just give it up and discard it to add a jewel. So it's a way to get a quick victory point. If you don't feel like you need this card anymore, you can discard to get a jewel. It can be a great way to score some points. And one of the main spots you're going to have on the board is these swords. And what that's going to do is allow you to draw from the adventure deck. When you draw from the adventure deck, you would read what it says. Elven Dungeon. Your friends are being held in the dark dungeons of the Wood Elves with much stealth and some luck. There's still a chance for escape. Now, the person next to you will read this, so you don't know exactly what happened. Now, you have an instant success if you have any of these items from the Gandalf deck. Sting, Smokescreen, Magic Elf, or Elrond. If not, otherwise, what you do is you would go to the spinner. You would pick one of these, either wood, water, or sword. So I say sword. And I spun a sword. So I would be successful, and I would get 3 adventure points for doing that. If I had said water, and it went to sword, I would fail, and I would have to lose a spell. So let me show you another one. In need of convincing. You've wandered into town, and the townsfolk do not think you could be a descendant of the king under the mountain. How do you convince them? So if you have these items, automatic success, you would get your 2 adventure points. Or you can lose an adventure point, but you have to do this. So I would say, wood. Let's see if I was successful. I am not. I failed. So I'd go to the fail on the card. I would lose an adventure point. Had I been successful, I would have got to 2 adventure points. That's kind of how that goes. Now, once you have 8 points from on here with the gems and adventure points, once you have at least 8, and I have one of these Gandalf cards with a symbol, and I get to the doorstep, I can then fight Smaug. Very easy. I'm going to add up how many jewels I have, plus how many adventure points. If I roll less than or equal to, I'm allowed to take a jewel from here. If I fail, I go back to the furthest safe haven, or the closest safe haven that would be on the board, and I'd have to kind of make the adventure back up here. So rolling the dice, the more gems and adventure points I can get, the more likely I am to roll what I need. If you ever get 20, you immediately win the game. You don't need to roll the dice, of course, because you would automatically roll 20, right? Now, Smaug is defeated when all of his gems are gone. Then you add up the points. If you got a jewel from him, you're going to get 5 additional points. You add up all your adventure points plus how many gems you have. Whoever has the most is the winner of the game.